This is Danny with QuadLugs, and we're going to be installing the electronics today on the 250 Mini Plus with a 4-in-1. So let's get started. This is a frame that I put together already, and I have the isolation camera mount, or the camera isolation mount on. I'm going to go ahead and take it off while we're doing this. We're going to go ahead and again put the middle plate on, or screw it in. So we're going to just make sure it's flush on the sides, and we're going to go ahead and drill a 1/8" hole, and again we're drilling it through this plastic piece here, this nylon piece, so we can run our screwdriver through to put the screw in that middle plate. And we're going to be putting it on the bottom side. So let's go ahead and drill this through. And I'm kind of holding the bit here so it doesn't, go way too far in there and, hit the centerpiece. So it kind of helps me control the depth of the bit this way. Okay, we're going to go ahead and clean all the junk out of there, or the nylon. Okay. I'm using a small screwdriver here. And you can see now it'll go, right through there. Okay. Now that we've got that done, we're going to go ahead and drill through this nylon here. So we're going to use our 5/64 bit, and we're going to drill through here, and let me see if I can get this lined up. Okay, and we're going to, go through the centerpiece here, the center plate, and then through the nylon. So I'm going to go ahead and drill it through. And I'm going to go ahead and get this one screw started first. We're going to use a washer and a 3/8 long screw. And this is just what we did on the last one. So we'll get one of them put on. I use my needle nose to place it into the hole. It's a little bit easier that way. And then we'll put our screwdriver through, and we'll get it started. And there we go. It's a little bit easier doing it that way. Now we'll go ahead and do the rest of those now. And I normally do one here, and then I'll do it diagonally, and make sure that it's flush on the ends, and I know I'm good to go. Now we've got that done, we're going to go ahead and take the bottom plate off. Okay. We're going to go ahead and put these side pieces on here. And this one, well, I think this one I'm going to go ahead and put my battery connector on, and this one is going to be the receiver for the controller. And if you remember last time, I kind of forgot them and had to pull them off, pull the bottom off a couple times. I'm going to try to do a little bit more thorough this time and get both of them put on before I secure it too much. Okay, so we're just going to put it in there, you know, make sure it's flush. And we're going to use a 1/16 inch bit. We're going to drill through the pre-drilled holes. There we go. I'm going to go ahead and get a screw started. I find it's easier to do it that way before we drill the other one. It keeps it from moving. I'm going to go ahead and even this up again. And we'll drill this one. This can be done whenever we build the frame initially. I usually wait until I do the electronics just in case, you know, I decide to do something a little bit different than what I originally thought. Or if, you know, I just decide I want to make a complete change with it and put a different setup. Okay. Now we're going to go ahead and do the middle plate. This off a little bit, and now we have them on. So we're going to put our 4-in-1 on. It's a 12 amp 4-in-1, and I think it's you know, Favorite, I think that's how it's pronounced. But anyway, we're going to get it put on. We have all this, everything I'm using linked on our site, so it gives you where to find them. So we're gonna wind up putting this right here, and I went ahead and soldered on this connector, and it's pretty cool because it's got because it's got a place, or it has a place rather, to screw it on. So it's HT60, and we furnished that in the kit also, and it's going to wind up mounting right here. So we'll go ahead and get this centered up in here, and about Put our wires at a pretty good spot right there, I think. And it's pretty cool because these connectors are already on here. So the only soldering you're going to have is the connectors onto the motors. And today we're using Sunny Sky 2204 2300 kV, so you'll have to solder on these connectors. But everything else is ready to go. So you'll have the motor connectors to put on and your battery connector. Not too bad. So we're going to go ahead and center this up. You know, pretty cool. Or pretty much where you want it. I think that'll work out really good. Now we're going to put 2 screws in here. I'm using a 5/16 bit, and I think that's all we need. I mean, you can put all 4, but I think this is all we're going to need. And I'm going to put a washer, and we're going to use, the 3/8 screws. And we'll be in good shape. There we go. I'll go ahead and get this one put on, or drilled through. This came off of another one, or another Mini that I've been flying for quite a while. So I'm rebuilding mine with the new parts. And this is going to be my personal. And I like kind of wild colors because if you ditch it into the grass, it's a lot easier to find. Not that I ever do that. Really. Okay. So that looks good. It's fastened down really well. And we're going to go ahead and separate these wires. And you want to try to make sure you don't get them mixed up, because first time you plug it in, it will be a mess. So there we go. And there we go. Now, this was on another one, so you know my wiring's already set up, but this is going to be motor number, what am I using? I'm going to use a naze on here. So I'm going to have to, I think it's 1, 2, 3, 4, but I'll have to double check. And then we'll see which, control wires go where. Let me go check on that and I'll be right back. So I checked, and 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's the front. That's motor number 1, 2, 3, 4. So this is motor number 1, and we're going to write this down. So I'll have it. So this is going to be number 1, and it's going to be ESC number 2. So ESC 2 is going to go to motor 1. And this is motor 2. So ESC number 1 is going to go to 2. 1, 2, 3. ESC number 3 is going to go to 3. This is 4. And ESC number 4 is going to go to motor 4. Okay, I have that written down. And so let's go ahead and write the colors down too. So ESC number 2 is, and it gives you your colors here. So 2 is red. 3 is orange. Number 4 is white. And number 1 is brown. So Okay. So what we'll do, we'll figure out these wires whenever we get ready to hook it to our controller. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Number 1 is ESC 2. Number 2 is ESC number 1. Number 3 is ESC number 3. Number 4 is ESC number 4. ESC 1 is brown. ESC 2 is red. ESC 3 is orange. And ESC 4 is white. And I'm just verifying all this, and we'll make sure these wires are correct one, like I was saying, when we get ready to hook it up. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and put this back on. Okay, we got this put back on. We're going to have larger screws. These are number 6s that go here. The rest of our screws are number 4s. This is going to be number 6s going here because we had drilled out the hole, you know, to be able to get the screwdriver through to tighten up these screws in here. So we'll put those on a little bit later, and that'll complete it. The bottom. And you can see we have plenty of room here. This gives enough you know, area right here to allow the ESC to cool down. And I've flown it quite a bit with this same setup, and where we fly, we're a little bit north of Dallas and Texas, and you know, I've flown this in 105 degree weather. We had no problems at all. So it's proven. No ventilation is needed here. It works really good like that. So we're ready to go ahead and take our top plate off, and we're going to start working on some controls. There we go. This is the plate here that holds the camera on, and this we can do it. You can do it a couple of ways. This actually screws on here, and we'll do that after a while. But we're going to have another video on how to do this, on the different ways to do it. You can, just real briefly, but you can actually put screws in these two holes here, and it goes into the camera and holds it on real good. Or you can do a rubber band like I've done here, and believe it or not, this works really, really good, and it gives you some cushion there. But we'll go over that in another video, or one coming up. Okay, we're ready to start messing with some controls here. Okay, and we're going to put it right in this area. we go. And I'll fasten this down a little bit later. The buzzer. And of course this is going to be my receiver, and that's going to be the battery. So that will work out good. Now, as far as the motor, we're gonna, this white wire here, this is power coming off of the 4-in-1. We're gonna go ahead and power up the nays with it. And we're going to go ahead and put it on number 1, which is going to be red. So we're going to take this out. And we're going to put motor number 1, which is red. Just be careful using the knife, of course. Okay. Then number 2 is going to be brown, which there we are there. Number 3 is going to be orange, so we're going to go ahead and move orange. And then our 4th motor is going to be white. So we'll go ahead and put red. There we go. So with our power, we're going to have the control wire for motor number 1 is red, and we determined that when we wrote it down. So motor number 1 was red, number 2 is brown, number 3 is orange, and number 4 is going to be white. So if I can see here, our signal is here, and this is going to be our power, and this is going to be our ground. So our signal goes here, and we'll verify this after a while, but I think this is motor number 1, but we'll just make sure after a while. Then our signal wires are here. So be brown as the 2nd. So it goes something like that. And I will double check that in a minute because I don't see the marking here, so I'll double check. Okay. And that's going to be that. Now, we're going to use a ppm input. And I'm going to use this little Hobby King. I haven't tried this one before on this. Evidently I tried it on something else. But I don't remember what it was on. So we're going to do it again. And let me get this old tape off. There we go. And I think we're going to mount this, you know, probably like this. We're going to get into this on the next video, but I'm going to go ahead and put this little 25, this is a little Fat Shark 25 milliwatt video transmitter. And I'm going to go ahead and put it in here for right now. In another video that we're going to be doing on putting on our FPV equipment. But for right now, again, I have this on another one, and I'm going to go ahead and put it on, and before I put this top on, and again, we'll have another video on that. And also we'll have another video on mounting this piece here. And this is our camera mount, and I tell you what, it works out really good. But not to take up too much time in this one, we'll have a separate video on just that. So right now I have the Naze 32 hooked up, and I have my buzzer on there that I'm going to secure a little bit later. And I have my receiver on, and I've already bound it. And it's a little Hobby King R410X orange. I'm going to try that out, and we'll see how it does when we do some flight footage with it. So, and we have this mounted on our pad. And again, we wired in our 4-in-1. And you know, we're getting to where we're almost done with this thing. We're going to mount the motors, hook up the wire, and then, you know, we'll have the routine stuff of double checking the rotation and putting it on the computer and all that good stuff for the controller. So anyway, I'm going to go ahead and put this piece back on. See how it fits on there, and it's sitting pretty good. Good, good, good. And we're going to, as we spoke of earlier, mount this one like that. Okay. And we might, you know, a little bit later do a little bit of what I call wire management, make it look a little bit nicer. We're going to go ahead and mount this. And we'll put it right there. We're going to get a 1/16 inch bit. Okay. I have some screws here that I'm going to go ahead and clip them. They're a little bit too long. And I'm facing it down so it doesn't catch me. Give it some support here. I don't have that other screw in. Receiver, radio receiver. And there's our battery connection. Really nice. Now I'm going to tuck this here. That's how I normally do it when I have these 4-in-1s, and it seems to work really, really well. Keeps it out of the way. There we go. So there we go there. And we're getting really close to being done here. Now the motors, okay. This is counterclockwise, again, clockwise, counter, clock, counter. And we'll try our little deal again. So we're going to turn the motor counterclockwise. We're going to hold the nut, and it tightened up. So we know that's right. This one's clockwise. We're going to do the same thing. Clockwise, nut tightened up. This one here is going to be counterclockwise. We're going to hold the nut, tightened up. So we're in good shape. It's a good way to double check that. We're going to go ahead again and plug in the wires, and this is temporary to check our rotation. Then we'll clean it up afterwards. And it's going to wind up, you know, being like that. So it's going to make a real nice job, I think. But, you know, neat thing about this, you do what you want to do, what works for you. This is just how I do it. So sometimes I do it the same way quite a few times, and I try something different. Just to see how it works. Okay. So now we have the motors on, the rotation of the motors right. We're going to double check it, of course, whenever we put it on the computer, and that's part of the process. We screwed down the middle deck to start with. We have our battery connector on and screwed down. We have our receiver on. We have our 4-in-1 ESC, and I tell you, it's so easy with this 4-in-1 ESC. I love them. It makes for a real quick and a real nice, neat job. So we're in good shape. Again, with the receiver, the battery, the Naze 32, and of course the buzzer I'm going to secure down later. We have our camera on the front, and we'll have a separate video on that. We have our video receiver and our transmitter on the back, and we'll have a separate video on doing all that. So that's it on this. Electronics, again, very, very easy to do. We'll put it on the computer next, and we'll get it finalized. Again, super easy to do. This is Danny with QuadLugs. Take care.